Hi guys, Zaby here, bringing you another deck profile. This time I'm doing my Ghostrick deck. If you watch my pack openings, I love Ghostricks. They're fun. They're kind of trolly, but all my friends hate this deck so much. And I'm surprised because they hate my Six Samurai deck a lot too, but they hate this one even more. Even though I feel as though my Six Samurai is a little teensy bit better than Ghostricks for the most part. Um, but yeah, if you're building a Ghostrick deck, maybe some of my ideas can help, and suggestions are also welcome. So let's start off with 3 Gianishi. Um, I see people running 2, but I think 3 is really good. There's a lot of hand traps in the deck, so you're gonna wanna usually search out for them. The main combo is, as you know, triple Spectre. You know, if you kill this guy, you can just go for him and get a +1. But I have a love-hate relationship with Spectre. Once I get Mansion out, my Ghostricks tend not to die, so he gets dead drawn. So, but still really helpful, especially if you can't get into that Mansion, which you'll see a little later. Triple Ghostrick Lantern. This card's also really good. I run 3 of this one because your opponent can attack you directly or attack one of your Ghostricks. And, you know, it just negates the attack. And that's really good because it doesn't have to be a direct attack. Which is why I only run 2 Ghostrick Jack Frost. Jack Frost is also a very good card. I actually like this one over Lantern, except, well, this one flips the monster face down defense when they attack, but it has to be a direct attack to you. So, Lantern, you want to run 3 because you're not going to run into that problem because, well, yeah, I explained that. Double Mary. A lot of people run 3 of this. I run 2. I'm actually going to show 2 more. I'm going to show 2 Ghostrick Doll. Now, most people run 3 Ghostrick Mary. The reason I run 2 is because of Doll. I run 2 Doll. They both have the special summoning effects, but I feel as though Doll is a better choice in general, even though it's not a hand trap, because it flips all your opponent's monsters face down defense and your own at the end of the turn, and you can special summon a monster from the deck whose level is equal to what you took, or what's been flipped. But the only problem with that is if she's the only one, then you're not going to want to special summon a level 1 because all your level 1s are hand traps. But with Ghostrick Mary, you have to take damage and then discard her and then special summon. And I don't like that effect quite as much as Doll, because Doll you get to keep her, and Mary you have to discard her, unlike all the other Ghostricks you can special summon face down defense, or at least the hand traps. But if you're running some sort of variant Ghostrick, I would run 3 of these, because if you're running a variant, you're definitely not running, Steins and other ones. You're running mostly the hand traps, so you're going to want 3 of this, and probably none of these if you're running some sort of like mixed deck, a variant sort of deck. But this is a pure, so double Ghostrick Stein. Stein, I run at 2 because I think it's the highest attacking non-Xyz Ghostrick monster, and it helps you get your Mansion if you don't have it yet, and it also gets your Ghostrick Scare trap cards real quick, which can be really helpful because if you're like poking at the opponent, you're gonna wanna have at least your scare just in case they try to get you again. You can just protect yourself for at least 3 turns with that. The last of my monsters is 2 Ghostrick Witch. I run 2 because it's basically a Book of Moon, which is really, really good. A lot of times I actually have both of these out at the same time, and that really annoys the opponent because you can just flip their monsters face down right quick. 1200 attack, it's really good too. And I definitely suggest you would run 2 of this rather than 1, which a lot of people just run 1 of these. But I personally prefer 2. Cards I don't use that a lot of people use is Ghostrick Mummy, because half the time I have only the Ghostrick hand traps in my hand and I don't want to special summon them unless, you know, the opponent attacks or you actually have to use them. So I don't run Mummy. I also don't run Ghoul because Ghostrick Ghoul just annoys me. I really don't like using that card. I've never used that card. And Skeleton is also another one that's used, but I think that's just an annoyance to the opponent. I mean, yes, you get to remove their top card face down, and nobody's going to ever know what the heck they are. But I feel like that's not quite as practical, personally, as some of these others are. But that's my opinion. You're welcome to have your own. I guess we should move on to the spells, huh? 3, Ghostrick Mansion. I do not run any parades. I feel like parade isn't that good. Well, it's good, but I feel as though all you're going to need is Mansion. You don't really need any of the other field spells at all. 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. I suggest most decks to run 3, because, you know, gotta get rid of their cards. 2 Swords of Concealing Light. This is a must-have in a Ghostrick. Even if you only feel like using 1, I think you should always have Swords of Concealing Light in a Ghostrick deck because it's just phenomenal. You have no idea unless you run it. 2 Pot of Duality. I do not run any Allure of Darkness. I've never been a fan of Allure of Darkness at all, so I don't like the idea of removing a card from my hand that I'm going to need from play, especially in a deck that doesn't really have cards to bring the remove cards from play back, except I do have an extra deck card that could, but, you know, I've never been a fan of Allure of Darkness, but I do like having 2 Potted Dualities. It gets my cards quicker. 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon should be self-explanatory in a deck like this. Trap cards, 3 Ghostrick Scare. This is an amazing card. You're always going to want to run at least 2 of this in a Ghostrick deck, especially if you have Stein. You're going to go into this card a lot, or if you don't have Mansion, you'd go for Mansion. I run 2 Mirror Force because I like Mirror Force over Deep Prison because it destroys more than 1 card, even though Deep Prison just removes 1 monster from play. I like having this so it can destroy all the opponent's monsters, several. Now I'm going to put these 2 next to each other to explain. I have 1 Needle Ceiling and 1 Torrential Tribute. I am considering having a second Needle Ceiling, because, you know, your cards are going to be face down, so when you activate this card, your opponent's cards are just going to, like, you know, die. And this is actually cool because I used to run this card way back in the day when this card first came out, and I got it in a pack when I was still a noob. Well, semi-noob. Like, I loved using that card, so that's awesome to have. But I run a Torrential Tribute as well. I've run into a lot of situations where I didn't have any monsters, and they had, like, say, 3. I didn't have a Mansion yet. And this helped a hell of a lot. But with that being said, sometimes when I have this, I wish I had this. So I'm I'm still debating on a second needle sealing, but at the moment, torrential tribute and needle sealing, one of each of those is good for me. And then staples, we got compulse, bottomless trap hole, and solemn warning. And that's it for the deck. And we're gonna get to the extra deck now. I run triple Ghostrick Dullahan. You're gonna go into this. You're gonna go into want to go into level ones or rank ones a lot. Sorry. And when you go into a rank 1, you're going to normally go into Dullahan. Originally, I only ran 2 of this, but I've realized a lot of the time I'm going to want a third one of these. And I have had to go into 3 a lot of times for this. Basically, this card can take out anything that has under 2400 attack, if it's just by itself. And if you kill it, you can get a Ghostrick from the graveyard to your hand anyway. So you know, you can't be too afraid to use this card. And it gets under Bottomless Trap Hole, which is also an amazing thing. I would definitely suggest you run 2 to 3 of this card in your deck. Very good card. 1 Slacker Magician. Sometimes I need defense, and I go into this card. Into the rank 2s, I have a Ghostrick Succubus. That just to warn you, I rarely go into rank 2s, but I like having them just in case. Especially since there's really not a lot of good rank 1s in general that I want to use. I did used to use Utopia Roots, but I recently took that out because I never ever used it. For defense, I got Gachi Kontetsu, and to power up your Ghostricks if need be. And I also have Vision Buster. I love that card because, you know, stopping effects is awesome to have. Especially with there being a lot of monster effect heavy decks around now. That's a good card to have. To the rank 3s, I got 2 Ghostrick Alucard. It's an expensive card now, but if you can get this card for your deck, get it. It's an amazing card. You know, pop any of your opponent's face down cards. And with this deck, obviously, you're supposed to be throwing a bunch of your opponent's cards face down. So it's a great card to have. And the rest of these are kind of general. I don't go into these the other rank 3s quite as much, but they're there. Leviathan Dragon, number 20 Giga Brilliant, Wind Up Zen Means, Leviar the Sea Dragon. This is what I was mentioning earlier. This is about the only card, if I were to remove a card, I could bring it back. But I like having this card in here just in case I have to, or some of my cards get removed and I want to get them back. Number 30 Acid Golem, and Tempo the Percussion Vision. And that's my deck. I hope you like my deck. I'm open to suggestions. And I hope this also helps you with your builds. That's why I make these videos, is to try to help. But I don't like net decking. But, you know, getting ideas from different people, and that can help your deck out a lot. But I hope it helped you, and I thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. So have a great day.